Yeah. So for developing any report, that report needs to be developed through the report builder, as I said. And you could see there are different parts of this report builder, like data model, web source, people layout, people parameter form, report triggers, right? Program unit, task library, and all those stuffs. So if you look into this data model, so you can see again there are different categories like system parameter, user parameter, queries, group, formula column, summary column, placeholder column, data link. So we should be knowing these things, what these things, and what how these uh, you know each keywords are working. What is the functionality for um, each whether it is a parameter or each object in that report builder, what is the functionality of each one. So that is what called as a, like, if you know the functionality for each object in this report builder, you can able to develop the any report, right? So we can start, so we can create the report in two ways, either through the wizard way or through the manual way. So these system parameter will be already defined by the Oracle. So it supports the user parameter as well, and it has a different types as you can see here. So we don't need to make any change into this system parameter. If I wanted to create any parameter for our report, then we can create through the user parameter. Here you can create the user parameter. So this is the query sections. So this query section basically helps to create multiple queries. You can see we have created one queries, right? See, if you wanted to fetch, like if you wanted to set any sort of a properties, you can put over here, and you can see the SQL statement which has been used. So this is the SQL statement yesterday we have used, right? So you can create over here, which will come over here. If you have more than one queries, also you can create by creating and go to the plus sign. See here, if I'll go and go to the plus sign, it will create one more queries. Okay, so this is very one of the very important aspects for creating the queries multiple times. So as many number of queries you will create, that many number of the groups also will get created. See, for this queries, what are the columns are there? So that will be coming over here in that group. So for one query, one group. For two queries, there will be a two group. Okay. So this is called as a formula column. I will give you a complete note on this. So what is the formula column? Formula column is again one PLSQL column. Kind of it returns the number type. It is like a function. If you want to validate something, that time we need to write the formula column. Similarly, so it's just like a PLSQL functions. So if you wanted to validate something, if you wanted to get return something, want to check something, that point of a time we need to write the formula column. Okay, so basically what I will do is I will create two three reports, independently instead of the Oracle application report, and then where I will show you the features of the formula column, summary column, placeholder column, and data link. For the just for the summary I'm giving you at this moment, just to have the idea. Okay, so this is a summary column. What is this summary column basically? This summary column helps us to in SQL we have a count, we have a sum, right? We will be having the max, mean. So it aggregate the data. So similarly in report also, if you wanted to aggregate the data, we are going to use the summary column. We'll see a few examples where we can use this formula column, summary columns, and all. So this placeholder column is something like a global variable in the report, where the variable will be alive throughout the report. Okay, and it also works along with the formula column. If formula column have any returning some value, that value we can store into the placeholder column. Okay, and data lake, as I said, like in queries we could have a multiple queries, right? So how to create a relationship between the different queries, we can make use of the data lake. Okay, and then we will be having the paper layout. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have the paper layout. Web source not much used, as even I don't know much about web source. Yeah. So this is the paper layout. Paper layout. See, whatever the data query we have created to populate that data, we need a curtain, right? For that, we basically use the paper layout from where you can see the data. So that was basically your layout. You can see here. This is the layout, right? This is the layout which created automatically. So if we create a manually also, we will design how our report will look like. Okay, so there are a lot of um, tools are available over here. With the help of these tools, we can design our report layout. So that is what called as a paper layout. Okay, this is the parameter form. If you have a so if you have a 3 4 parameter, so 1 second. So this paper layout. So similarly, like paper layout, we can also design our parameter over here. So that way, the form will be appearing to the user for for asking the user inputs through the parameters. We have a report triggers. We have a different types of report triggers, like before parameter form. After they ask in the interviews, what are the report triggers? That time you need to say we have a 5 different types of report trigger, like before parameter form, after parameter form, before report, between pages, and after report. So each one have their own uses. So we'll show you like this is kind of a if you try to analyze, you will understand. So any parameter, this trigger will act on those parameter before before the parameter goes into the database, right? So sorry, this parameter basically after parameter form, once the data will be uh, taken as a parameter, user provides the input to the parameter, and it will go before it goes into the database for fetching the data. This after parameter form trigger will fire before it will display to the user. Before report trigger will fire, and between pages, suppose I have a 2 pages 3 pages report, then going from first page to second page, the second page to third page, this between pages report trigger will fire. And if after report, suppose you are sending your report for print, you are sending your report for fax, you are sending your report for email, that point of time this after report trigger will fire. And also this report trigger will fire to release all the memory occupied while running that report. So it releases the memory as well, so we can make use of this after report trigger. Okay, if you have sorts of PLSQL program, if you have any sort of procedures, that time you can create those procedures function into the program units, and you can call wherever you need in this report builder. Like suppose you create one PLSQL program here through the program unit, and in formula column you can make use of that programs, that procedure or functions here. Okay, you can just call. Similarly, we have a TAS library. In the Oracle database, there are a number of packages, number of libraries are there. So if you wanted to, so Oracle is also having a lot of seeded libraries, or you wanted to have any custom package you wanted to attach here, you can attach over here. Okay, and these things are the standard to the report builder by the Oracle. So basically, I will provide you one document you can go through, and we'll create 2 3 examples, 2 3 report, and explaining these. So basically, from here to here, we should be knowing what all these details are there to develop any complex or any simple or any sort of a report. Okay, so this is just an overview of giving the report today. In terms of Oracle application report, if I wanted to develop any Oracle apps report, so there is a concept called as a multi-R report. There is a concept of multi-R report. So there are few standard which we need to follow while creating the Oracle apps report. So what are the standard? I'll just show you. So let me write over here. So write standard to create the report. So what are the standard? First standard is like it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory, but this is the standard, and they ask in the interview for developing the report. Can you tell me what are the steps we need to follow? What are the mandatory steps? What are the recommended steps to be followed? Okay, so first we need to create pconc request ID. Pconc request ID. So what is this? So basically, as I said, we are working on the multi-environment system, right? We are creating on the multi-environment system. So this pconc request ID is a one sort of a parameter. This is a parameter. We need to create this parameter in user screen. User parameter. See here, we'll create one parameter. Here we'll create one parameter called as a pconc request ID. P. This is one of the recommended or mandatory, you can say. Pconc request ID. Okay. So we have created pconc request ID, and what is the second thing? So this is one of the thing. Pconc request ID parameter. Basically, why we need to create this pconc request ID? This question you will be having. See, whenever we are submitting see, we have not used pconc request ID before because we will be having only one organization, right? But if we have a multiple organization, then what it does is whenever we are submitting the request through the concurrent program, right? You have seen that screen. We have submitted the concurrent program through the SRS window. That time, that request ID will pass into this report to ensure that this report will going to execute. So that is the reason we are need to use the pconc request ID as a one of the parameter. Okay. Now, second thing. Where is that? Second thing, there is a user exist. We need to use. So what is this user exist? There are basically 5 different types of user exist. We'll talk about that. But for all the reports, the 2 most important user exist is FND, SRW, init, and third is user exit, FND, SRW, exit. So these two parameters, these 2 user exist must be used in the report. So we have not used last time because, as I said, right, it is only one single. It's not a multi-R organization. It's a single organization. That is the reason we don't need to use the user exist. Okay. Now, so where we can use the user exist and what is the uses of that? So we'll look into here. So as I said, we'll use the first user exist in the before report trigger. Okay. So we'll say SRW dot. So SRW is nothing but the source report writer, is a package. Okay, is a library provided by the Oracle. So SRW user exist. Inside that we can call that FND SRW init. Okay. Okay, it's not exist, it's exit. Okay, so this is how. And the second thing is, so the second user exists we are going to use here. After, so this user exists, what it does is, as I tell you, this user exists basically occupy the memory, like user profile value. uh, it basically helps to understand the user profile. So suppose you have a user in Oracle application, right? And when you are running the report, okay, so suppose you are working from Chennai location, and your office is having even the office in Bangalore location or Hyderabad location. So when you will run the report, you will see only Chennai related data, not the Bangalore related data, not the Hyderabad related data. Suppose a company is having three different countries. So a person who are working in India, when he will run the program, a report, he will see India related data. How? How that will happen? So that will happen through the this user exists, because this user exists will understand the user. Once the user will submit this report, the data will come, the report cursor will come over here, and it finds, this report has been submitted by which user, and that user belongs to which organization and which place. So basically organization will be registered, right? So through that it will come to know like which organization it needs to be run, and it will understand the user profile, and based on the user profile it will fetch the data for this organization, for that organization. So basically the user exists help in multi-R organization, and that is the reason we have seen yesterday we have ran the report without this user exist, it worked out. So basically this user exists is very helpful when we have a multi-organization system. Okay. Similarly, in after report trigger, we are basically, so it needs to consume a lot of memories, temporary memories and all when the report runs. So once your report is ran, then now you need to release those memories back to the system, right? That time we need this user exist called as a SRW exit. So these are the two, just or exit, I don't know. Exist or exit? I don't know. I think exit only. Fine. Let me see. So these two user exist. So there are three parameters. There are three mandatory things we need to pass in all the Oracle Apps report by default. Okay. First, PCOM request ID. Second, the SRW init. Third is SRW exit. That we need to remember. So now again, what I will do is I will save this report. Okay. Few more details are there. Seems Akhtar has not joined. Give me a moment. Yeah. I'll have one more document. I will send it to you guys. Okay. The user exist is pending. Yeah, see, as I said, a standard to develop a report in Oracle application. So there are three standards. First, to define the peacock request ID, okay, and second is called as a user exist, that FNW init and FNW SRW. So this user, and we have a different types of report trigger, as I said. So before report triggers, we need to use this SRW init, and after report, we need to use the SRW exit. Okay, and in the pictorial, also try to understand how this user basically works. Okay, and as I said, there are five different types of user exist. Most of the time they ask in the interview. So what are those user exists? So mostly we are using only two user exist, but there are total five different types of user exist. As I said, like the SRW init will use this user exist in the before report trigger, and it will initialize the user profile values. According to that profile values, data will be retrieved from the database, right? As I said, and this exit basically help us to release the or unfreeze the memory which is occupied by the user profile. Okay, and we have a fnd flex equal, fnd flex id val, fnd format currency. Basically these three user exist will be used for the flex field sort of report. Okay, so when I will explain you the flex field, that time, or if I'll develop any flex field related report, that time you can see then these user exist will be needed. Okay, so I will tell you what are the flex fields in coming sessions. For today, just to have understanding the standards of developing the report in Oracle application. So yeah, so these are the things we need to develop in the report. I can tell you a few more things through the report only. So what we can create a develop different types of report is. Let me come over here. I'll send you this document. Okay, so we basically will all have talked about this concurrent program report registrations. Okay, we have spoken about. Okay, we have spoken about the request group. We have talked about the responsibility data group menu, right? So we have tried to create a report with a parameter, right? Yeah, we'll talk about the value set. So I will talk about the value set, which is needed basically, but not today's session. Tomorrow's session we'll talk about the value set completely. Okay, and then what are the different types of values we can put it into the while submitting the concurrent program. That also I will tell you. So today basically I will give a more focus on this one report only. Okay, so these are the value sets. Basically I will talk detailed about the value set tomorrow. Okay, and so the report development, if I'll see, so there are different types of report. One is called as a master detail report. One called as a simple report. So you can see here there are basically two types of parameter. One is called as a bind parameter, other is called as a lexical parameter. So bind parameter, we have seen the example yesterday, right? By putting the colon. But what about the lexical parameter? So this lexical parameter, there is a difference in the parameter. Basically, they ask in the interview. Yes, Rija, we have any question? Yeah, there is a they ask in the interview what are the different types of parameter we can create. So we can say we can create a two different types of parameter. One is bind parameter, so which will be just takes the one value, whereas second we have a lexical parameter. So basically through the lexical parameter we can change the query dynamically. How? Because the lexical parameter we can pass the complete text we can send, whereas in the bind parameter can only be sent only one value. So that's a difference. So you can see the make use of the different after parameter form, we can define this p lexical parameter. You can see here we are giving like p lexical parameter is nothing but the p trunk creation date, p between this and this. So we are defining at the runtime of this parameter. So this we are creating a definition at the runtime. So that is the beauty of this lexical parameter. So those things we can make use of that. And if you have a master detailed report that you can create, as I said, like a data link, right? So if I have two queries, query one, query two, and so to create a relationship, we need the data link. So that I will tell you in detail. That I will tell you to develop the report, and I will tell you how we can create the these two sorts of reports. So today, let me create one. Lexical parameter. Okay, so so I'm just extending the same report with the lexical parameter. So where is that? So if I wanted to create a lexical parameter, where I need to go? I need to go to this data model. See, this is the first query, right? Hope you remember, this is the query. So this query, I'll just click over here, and you can see the tools are there. See, this is the summary column. This is the formula column. So all sort of, this is a SQL statement. Different things are there over here. So here, if I wanted to make any change, and I'll say P underscore lexical or something. You can just write anything, okay? Ampersand. I'll just write ampersand, but ampersand is the one. P underscore lexical. I'll just say. So apps, VIS. So see here what it is telling. The query this created the lexical parameter P underscore lexical. Okay. Now we have created now we need to define the lexical parameter, right? So where we will define the lexical parameter, as I said, we need to define the lexical parameter in after parameter form. So once the people will give, we can develop the lexical parameter. So I'll say if what I'll say, if how do we write? How do we make the condition? Yeah. Mhm. Will pass the lexical parameter as a name. So I'll say what was our bind parameter? One second. What is our bind parameter? Uh, Pnum. See, we can see the lexical parameter is created here. So I'll just say, I'll go to, yeah. So I'll say if Pnum is not null, then I'll just create one statement. Then what is that? Pnum. Colon P underscore lexical colon equal to and we have made it as a mandatory, right? As a null, like that we'll say. Else, so will not it's not null. I'll just try to make one sentence. Ampersand will pass one details and creation date between colon P from between if we have any more parameter we can make use, or we'll say where creation date between sys date and sys date at this time, sys date minus but all are old data only, so it's not going to work out in terms of sys date. Okay, so I'll say where the type lookup code, where and type so we have to write in such a way that we're going to work out in terms of parameter only what we need to pass there as a, so that will be adding as a condition. Okay, so what could be the condition? We can put we can say creation date. Okay, we can say last updated date. No, we can say mm, where and user. I'll just pass one thing, okay, just for showing you how the lexical parameter work. User equal to, okay, when user I underscore ID. I'm just showing you that how we can pass a one line, one complete condition into the lexical parameter. Okay, is not null, then else pass null. This condition I'll put it here. This condition I'll put it here, and this condition I will put it down. Okay, and okay. So and the user ID equal to, let me take what is the user ID and pass, or let me go through this. What is that? Data model queries. What is the queries? If I get any this one, I will use that one. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Database. If I find any proper thing, I will make use of that. Okay. So I'll do this. Okay. Okay. So we'll say okay. So instead of the org ID, okay, here we are passing the org ID, no? So instead of this org ID, this only will pass as a lexical parameter. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm just removing this. Okay. I'm removing this, and this will come as a p lexical parameter. So come here after parameter form. Yeah. So they ask in the interview where you can define the p lexical parameter. Then you need to tell we need to define the p lexical parameter in the after parameter form trigger. Okay, and p lexical. See, I'll use it. Okay. And this. Okay, you got it right. Now we'll see. Okay, there is a problem. Pino must be declared. So we have to give that colon. Okay, done. So we did that. Let me save this. Okay. Now what is the next step? Next step is to move the file, because this is the updated file, right? Customized file. So we need to move the file again back to the server. So where is your file located? Here. So this is the report, and where we need to pass this report into the PO module, PO top. Wrong. So we need to go to the application top. We'll go to the PO top because we have kept it in the PO top. 12 log. Where is that report? Correct US, and we'll need to move back. Okay. So he will ask like to override this. Yes, because see, you can see here the override which we have passed last time, and today it is as in the revision. So we'll say yes to all. Done. And rest of the things are already created. So we'll just go and run this report. How do we run the report? Again, we'll open the Oracle application. We'll go to the responsibility. Which responsibility? Custom responsibility. This is my custom responsibility, right? So I cannot run it from any other application, this responsibility. Okay. So first I'll open this. We'll navigate to this responsibility. We'll go to the view. We'll go to the request. We'll go to submit new request. Okay, 1 second. Instead of submit request, I'll go to the find. Okay. Do you remember yesterday we have run this report, right? So today, if I wanted to run this report, I'll go to the submit new request, single request. Here there is something called as a copy. So I'll click on the copy. So I'll get the last run report or last run program with the parameter details. Okay. I just run it. I'll submit. So it will create a new request ID. No. And here you can see. So it's created. We'll see the report. Yeah, see, only 2, not 4 is coming. No, so this time what I will do is 1 second. I will okay, 1 second. I'll submit again. Okay, 1 second. Then you will see the parameter. No, 1 second. I'll see the parameter. Instead of 500, I'll pass something. Let's say. So it is a PO number, okay? P lexical parameter, it will be a PConc request ID. We don't need to register PConc request ID into the Oracle application. So by default, it will work out. And P lexical also, we don't need to define because it will dynamically get populated the data. Now, for PO number, we'll take this type PO number. It's a different PO number, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just run this. So we'll take the PO number as a 506. Okay, we'll pass 506. Refresh. So spending normal. Here we'll see for 506 what is the data is coming. How many records are coming for 506? And I can see that there are so many records are coming, right? So many records are coming. How many? 10 records are coming. But how many 204? Only 2 records are 204, right? So in our report, how many records should come? How many records should come?
Same.
No.
2.
2. Why? In our query, you can see here, in our query, what is written? Did I have, this is my query, no? This is my query. This is my query, right? This is my query. 506. How many is coming? 10 records are coming. But in my report, how many are coming? Only 2. How this 204 is coming? Because 204 is coming from here. 204 is coming from the p lexical parameters, right? We have a p lexical parameter. So this p lexical parameter, I'll do one thing. See, I'll make this small change. It is having 204 to I'll say 900. Okay, so that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 record will come. Okay, you'll see. I'll just play around. Then you will understand the importance of p lexical parameter. So we'll go to the after parameter form and say if p num is not null, then p lexical parameter will be 2, not 4. So this
Now, where
statement
you
is
define
adding.
as? Where you define there?
It is getting added, right? This whole statement is getting added.
It's not null?
See, I'm saying if this parameter is not null, so we are passing, it's a mandatory, so we are passing. Then the p lexical parameter, so in the query, we are adding this. We are adding this in the query dynamically.
Here.
Are you getting my point? Now I'm adding this
It's
dynamically.
hard-coded. Hard-coded.
Hard-coded, but it is dynamic. The point over here is we are adding this condition dynamically. You got my point? Now you see it, only 2 records are coming. Now I'll make change. Okay, I'll say between 201 and I'll say 900. Okay, let's see this time how many records are coming. Okay, so save. So what I need to do? Save. I'll go back to this. Again, I will move this folder here. Okay, it's telling yes. Now I'll again run this report. Okay, so 506. No. So how many records will come this time? So this is the one. I'll just try to get that here. Yeah, org ID between. We'll go to the database. We'll check from the database first. Okay, let's see. 506. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 records are coming. Let's see in my database how many records are in the report, how many records are coming. Yeah, correct, right? Now, so you understood, right? So dynamically it is that condition is getting added to the report. Got it? Hello?
Yeah.